Jeff Gordon calls the Alex Bowman DQ embarrassing for Team Hendrick, and Kaulig Racing makes a crew chief change. How's it going, y'all? My name is Eric. Welcome to Out of the Groove. We'll get to the latest NASCAR news in just a moment. First, this episode is sponsored by Lectric eBikes. Fall is in the air. Where I live in Texas, the weather has finally cooled off some. This is the best time of year to get out and about, enjoy nature, at least where I live. The Lectric X Peak encourages you to get outside, explore the outdoors, explore beyond the neighborhood with 26-inch fat tires, over 1,300 watts of peak motor, and a rugged, trail-ready RST Renegade suspension. This bike is durable, rides smooth. Head to lectricebikes.com or click the link down in the description to check out the X Peak or to find a different electric e-bike ride that suits you. We'll start with some breaking news. Just announced Taylor Gray will drive the number 54 Supra full-time in the NASCAR Xfinity Series next year. The younger Gray brother getting a full-time Joe Gibbs racing seat. The numbers in trucks this year are not very impressive in my opinion. Sure, Taylor Gray is in the playoffs, but he doesn't have a win yet this season in Tricon Garage equipment. His teammate Corey Heim has 6 wins, is leading the standings. Taylor has also made a dozen Xfinity starts in the number 19 and has 2 top 5 finishes. He's only 19 years old, still very young, room to grow, and I will say the results have been more promising than his brother Tanner. Taylor Gray isn't bad. He may have a high ceiling. I'm just pointing out the obvious. The numbers do not impress right now. But Gray is moving forward. I imagine there is a financial component to this. Again, I don't want to sound like a Corey Heim homer, but how is this guy getting passed over for every Joe Gibbs Racing Xfinity opportunity? Is the beef between him and Ty Gibbs that serious? Maybe it's contractual. Corey Heim is the sim/reserve driver for Legacy Motor Club and 2311. Maybe he's just opting to go a different route. He's made Xfinity starts for Sam Hunt, but you'd think if Joe Gibbs Racing was an option, Heim would take it, right? Those are the best Xfinity Series cars in the garage consistently. Maybe it's not an option. Maybe it's because of the Ty Gibbs beef. Maybe it's because of sponsorship. I don't know, but Corey Heim has 6 wins this year in Tricon equipment. His teammate with 0 wins just got a Joe Gibbs Racing seat. See, I'm not a fan of that. Anyway, good luck to Taylor Gray. I don't mean to sound like a hater. I'm just pointing out the very obvious numbers that everyone has access to. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe this is the first Gibbs driver to be announced for next year. No, I'm wrong. Brandon Jones. That's right. Brandon Jones is back with the team. Now Taylor Gray. 3rd seat is open. Chandler Smith's future is unknown. Some have mentioned William Sawalich, a Toyota development driver. We'll see. I talked to Ryan Truex on my other show, Power Hour, a few weeks back. He's still looking to find sponsorship to put together a full-time season. I hope it works out for him. I think he's earned a look, but it's a tough business. Taylor Gray to the 54. That's kind of interesting in 2025. Now let's jump up to the Cup Series. Some more breaking news today. Kaulig Racing has announced that crew chief Travis Mack is out. The former Trackhouse crew chief will be replaced by Darian Grubb for the remainder of 2024. Grubb's first race as interim crew chief will be this weekend at Las Vegas with driver Shane Van Gisbergen. Fun fact, Darian Grubb was also the crew chief when SVG won his first ever Cup Series race in his first ever start back at the Chicago Street Race last year, so they have some familiarity. Kaulig released this statement: Travis Mack will no longer serve as crew chief for the number 16 Chevrolet, effective immediately. We appreciate the commitment Travis made to the 2024 Cup Series season and wish him well in the future. Darian Grubb will serve as the number 16 crew chief this weekend. More announcements regarding the position will be made in the near future. The number 16 car is 30th in owner points this year, 1 top 5, 4 top 10s. This wasn't mentioned in that statement, but when Kaulig signed Travis Mack this past offseason, they also announced that he would fill the role of technical director. That statement I just read you makes it sound like he's no longer with the team in any capacity, so I don't know who's in the technical director role currently. Maybe that role was just a fluff title. I'm not sure. I haven't seen anyone else talk talking about it, so maybe I missed an important hiring along the way. I didn't miss the Ty Norris hiring. Remember a few weeks ago, Ty Norris suddenly up and left Trackhouse, signed with Kaulig. He's now their chief business officer. I find it interesting that one of the first orders of business after the Ty Norris signing is to let go a former Trackhouse crew chief. I don't know, clean start maybe. Across the board, I think this has been a disappointing season for Kaulig Racing. I'm not super optimistic about next season. Yes, AJ Allmendinger will be back in the Cup Series full time, but they also signed Ty Dillon. I like bringing Ty Norris in. He has a strong reputation of building up race teams, but we'll see. I wonder who they'll get to replace Travis Mack long term. But that was the big breaking news this morning. One final time, can we talk about the Alex Bowman disqualification? I know, at this point the news is 72 hours old, nearly. That's ancient by internet standards, but it is one of the biggest, most sudden storylines of the entire season with major championship implications. Jeff Gordon, Hendrick Motorsports vice chairman, was on SiriusXM NASCAR radio yesterday and explained in some detail why Hendrick Motorsports opted not to appeal. The Hall of Famer said, quote, "Quite honestly, it's just one of those things where NASCAR has minimum pre-race and minimum post-race weights, and our teams, in order to make the best performing race cars every week for our drivers, we know that we've got to stay as close to those minimums as possible. In this case, the 48 car, they just cut it too close and missed it. So that's on us, and pretty embarrassed by it, and very disappointing after what was looking like a historic day, one of the most exciting days that we've had at the racetrack, and it being a home race and everything, and celebrating in Victory Lane, and all four, and that all got wiped away. We looked at all the facts, and we didn't feel there was anything that we felt comfortable appealing, and we're going to move on." Embarrassing, Jeff Gordon says. Hendrick Motorsports, known for running a tight ship, it's rare to see something this significant slip through the cracks. Failing to meet minimum post-race weight is not a new thing with this car. In the next-gen era alone, Brad Keselowski was disqualified at Martinsville a couple years ago. Earlier this season, Justin Haley was disqualified at COTA. Neither of those teams appealed either. Obviously, with the competition being so close these days, you gotta fight for every thousandth of a second you possibly can, but I still question why the team was being so aggressive with Alex Bowman at one of his best tracks when he had a major points cushion protecting him. A lot of fans are speculating that, Hendrick must be hiding something else. They don't want to appeal because they don't want NASCAR to take a close look at something else they may have been doing. And sure, that's possible, but it's worth mentioning that the 48 car is already at the NASCAR R&D Center. I'm sure they've looked over it quite closely. So we don't know what we don't know. But in conclusion, looking ahead, Alex Bowman fans, there's still something to race for this year. Alex Bowman can still finish 5th in points, which would be a career best. See, once you get eliminated from the playoffs, you're back in the pool with everyone. NASCAR determines positions 5th through 16th by taking all the points you accumulated over the 10-race playoffs. That's why, if you go to NASCAR.com right now, Chase Briscoe is shown 15th despite making it to the round of 12. It's also why Ty Gibbs is 11th, Martin Truex Jr. is 12th despite being eliminated in the first round. Alex Bowman is currently 9th, but once 4 more drivers get eliminated, if Bowman runs well these next few weeks, he could jump up to 5th or 6th in points headed to Phoenix. He obviously can't win the title, he can't finish top 4, but 5th would still be a huge accomplishment for Alex Bowman and that number 48 team. So it stings that Bowman is no longer championship eligible. As great as he's been recently, I don't think anyone pegged him as a championship favorite. He can still finish 5th. I hope this call wasn't completely deflating because I'd love to see Alex Bowman mount a charge these next few weeks. Finish what the driver has started. Alex Bowman got off to such a great playoff start. Most points earned in the first round. Take out that disqualification, he's got the second best average finish of anyone in these playoffs. With those kinds of numbers, Alex Bowman absolutely could contend for a top 5 points finish. That's something to race for, in my opinion. That's it. I'm done talking about the Alex Bowman penalty on this show, at least. Tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, I'll be streaming live the Iceberg, Danny B, Ellie Productions, some of your favorite favorite content creators will be joining me. I'm sure we'll talk about Alex Bowman there as well, but on this show, I'm done. I'm moving on. We're moving past it. We're looking ahead. Las Vegas. Thanks for watching, folks. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe for more NASCAR discussion every single day. Big thank you to my very generous Patreon supporters as always. Again, tonight, 8 o'clock Eastern time, streaming live right on this channel. Hope you'll stop by. I will see you again soon, folks. Thanks for watching.